You have met them before. The person who is never wrong. No matter what the situation is, no matter how clear the evidence, they will twist, argue, or deny until they're blue in the face. And if you haven't met them yet, well, maybe it is because you are one of them. Because here's the truth. Refusing to admit mistakes isn't just arrogance. It is not just stubbornness. It is the fastest way to repeat the same mistake again and again, until failure becomes your lifestyle. And yet, people do it every single day. The psychology of never being wrong. Why do people refuse to admit they're wrong? Simple. Because it hurts. Admitting you are wrong feels like admitting you are weak, or stupid, or not good enough. So instead of facing that pain, people protect their fragile little ego. They build walls of excuses. It wasn't my fault. You don't understand. That's not what really happened. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Because chances are, you've said these lines yourself. And the more you say them, the more you believe them. That's how denial becomes your daily habit. The ripple effect of denial. Now, here's where the red flag turns into a warning siren. When you can't admit you're wrong, you don't just block yourself from growth. You poison everything around you. In relationships, you turn arguments into wars because there's no resolution when both sides refuse to step down. At work, you repeat the same mistakes, driving projects into the ground and blaming coworkers for the mess. In life, you create a pattern, a cycle where you never improve because you never confront the truth. It's like being stuck in a video game where you keep losing the same level, but instead of learning how to play better, you just scream, "The game is rigged." The illusion of strength. Here's the irony. People who never admit they're wrong think they're protecting their strength, but really, they are exposing their weakness. The strongest people are the ones who can say, "Yes, I was wrong. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I'll do better." Because admitting you are wrong doesn't destroy your credibility. It builds it. It shows maturity. It shows self-awareness. It shows you are not afraid of growth. But the ones who refuse, they cling to the illusion of strength while their actual life collapses around them. Here's the everyday examples. Think about it. How many friendships have you seen die because one person could not apologize? How many relationships ended because someone said, "I don't need to change, you do"? How many workplaces rot from the inside because the boss would rather fire people than admit their strategy failed? These are not accidents. They're predictable results of a single toxic behavior, refusing to admit being wrong. And here's the best part. You don't even have to look far to see this red flag. Just open your eyes. It's in the family member who never apologizes. It's in the friend who always blames someone else. It's in the politician who doubles down on lies even when caught. It's in you every time you justify your mistakes instead of learning from them. The cost of refusing to admit wrong. So, what is the cost of this behavior? Simple. You stay stuck forever. Because life has a cruel rule. It keeps testing you until you learn the lesson. And if you never admit you failed the test, you will keep repeating it. Over and over. Same job problems, same relationship problems, same personal struggles. You become the architect of your own misery. And the saddest part? You'll never admit that either. The red flag in disguise. Now here's where it gets dangerous. People who never admit they are wrong are often charming. They are persuasive. They talk with confidence. They can convince others and even themselves that they are always right. But confidence without accountability is a mask. And behind that mask is fear, insecurity, and failure waiting to happen. That's why this is the biggest red flag in everyday life. Because if someone refuses to accept mistakes, they refuse to accept growth. And without growth, everything else dies. The irony of failure. So let me tell you the irony. The person who admits their mistakes looks weak in the moment but grows stronger over time. The person who denies their mistakes looks strong in the moment but grows weaker over time. Guess which one you are. If you are still watching this, maybe you are realizing the truth. Maybe you're thinking of the last time you refused to say, "I was wrong." Maybe you're seeing the pattern and how it's been ruining your life quietly every single day. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're already forming excuses in your head. If that is the case, congratulations. You have just proven my point. Final challenge. So here is my challenge to you. Next time you're wrong, admit it. Out loud, no excuses. Because if you can't do that, you're waving the biggest red flag there is. And trust me, you won't just be waving it at others. You will be waving it at yourself every single time you fail and wonder why life never changes. But hey, denying all of this would be easier, wouldn't it? And if you do that, well, that's just one more mistake. This is what went wrong, not your typical motivational talk. So go ahead, ignore the red flags. Repeat the cycle. Do whatever you want. Because at the end of the day, it is all about being wrong, right?